All right, hello everybody. It is Thursday, April 23rd. I'm here with an update to kind of go over a couple things, touch base on what's going on in the plant. I've got an accident description that we want to go over that happened at another plant, and then kind of go through a couple other things to make sure everybody's on the same page with everything happening in and outside of the plant right now. First, I want to say thank you to everybody who's been making this a positive month so far. We'll go through some of the production numbers and how well we're doing, but it's important, as we continue to say, everybody to stay focused while you're in the plant. Look out for each other, be safe, and try to make sure we're staying focused on the job at hand while we're here. And so far, we're actually having a very good month, and thank you for all the efforts that go into that. So I want to touch base a little bit on an incident that occurred in New England, and I'll go through their slides. They put together a nice little presentation and a summary that they shared with the group. So these are from them. But basically, they were training a new employee, and I'll go through the accident description. That the hogger operator was training the new employee, and the affected employee started to feed the sheets in from the chop cart. He was on the left side of the feed table, and the sheet stack was too large for the hogger. So he tried to hold the sheets back as they started to slide, and then the belt pulled the stack in, pinning his arm in between the stack of sheets and the guard on the hogger. Unfortunately, the edges of the guard were sharp enough that it ended up causing a laceration on the employee's arm, requiring 6 stitches. And so as we look at the root cause for New England, the stack board was too large to be fed all at once. The employee placed himself in the line of fire by feeding the hogger from the side of the machine instead of in front of the machine. And then the guard does not have a straight edge frame to prevent contact with the expanded metal, which ultimately caused the laceration. So we got a little bit of summary of what machine guards requirement from OSHA, but really, they had a guard in place, but unfortunately, the guard in and of itself was a hazard. So it makes it important to always check the machine. When we have guards, things that are meant to keep people out of harm's way, we should look at the guards as well and make sure that we're not leading to another area that could cause harm while it's trying to ideally protect the employee. So long-term actions that we're going to train your employees obviously to stay in front of the hogger, do not hog from the side. They're going to add a frame to that guard to kind of protect them a little bit better. They're going to reposition the emergency stop cord to be flat and level, a little bit easier for them to grab. And then they're going to look into adding some additional guards to keep employees even farther away. So obviously, we have our own hogger, we have our own setup. It's just important that we are always trying to stay off to the side, keep your distance, try not to keep your arm in a position that will end up getting pinched or pulled, because it can happen, unfortunately, and it's demonstrated in this incident. So the next thing I wanted to touch on, like I said, we're having a good month from a productivity standpoint and uptime standpoint. Trying to drive those numbers up over 95% on the uptime. As I said in previous videos, the uptime is key to try to drive all of our numbers, bring our costs down, and try to be an overall productive plant. So the run speeds will come as long as we continue to keep the machine running and being over 95% uptime. It's a good goal. We want to continue to push up towards 96, 97%. Operator errors are coming down. Maintenance downtime is coming down. We just need to continue to focus every day on the little things and try to keep that number 24 minutes or less every day, and try to whittle away, get that number up to the next level at 96%. So waste has been outstanding this month. As everybody can see, dunnage is hard to come by right now. That's usually a good sign. Obviously, it's kind of a struggle sometimes. We need dunnage. We do what we can to to have tops and bottoms, but at the same time, we have to manage that appropriately without getting too excessive. Utilize all of our returns and try to be as mindful of waste as possible. But so far, keeping that waste as close to 6% as we can get it, and every day paying real close attention to what we scrap, and not letting stuff go to the hauler that we can use for dunnage, obviously. So we need to keep a close eye out on credits, especially as things start to get slower. Customers have plenty of time uh, to look into all quality defects, and we just want to make sure we get things done correctly the first time. As with any credit, it's going to hurt you on the credit side, it's going to hurt you on the waste side, and it's going to hurt you on the customer service side. We want to get it done right the first time, make sure we satisfy what the customer needs and not have to cause them the problems of having to remake board. So overall, we got a week and a half to go to finish the month, and we want to continue to try to drive those numbers up from a productivity standpoint, keep pushing the machine where we can. It's going to get trickier as we start to get a little bit slower. And that kind of leads right into my next topic, as we obviously had meetings last week to talk about volume. We're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown this week. Of course, we stopped a couple times. We're going to try to manage as best we can to keep the machine running, manage the downtime we have, to clean and prep the machine so we can run it as fast as possible when we need to. We will start working with some volunteers to go home early if we get the opportunity. Try to manage a little bit more of those costs. Last night we had a few people go home on third shift early, and I'm going to start working on a kind of a text list to send out from a first shift standpoint, that they may be able to come in a little bit later on a volunteer basis right now as well, to save a little bit of the hours while we wait for orders to come in. And so first shift startups are going to be at 7, and eliminate a little bit of the startup times right now for the foreseeable future. First shift does not have to come in at 6 on Mondays. They'll come in at 7. And so continue to work as best we can to maximize the machine when we can run it. But every day is going to be unpredictable. We just appreciate everybody trying to be as efficient as possible, working with us as best as we can to try to, accomplish our goals every day with an unpredictable volume and the ups and downs on the machine that's going to cause. The next thing I wanted to touch on are masks. Again, when we talk about the different styles of masks we have, the reusable mask, please make sure we're paying attention to the overall condition of your mask. We're starting to get enough masks now, masks, t-shirts, combinations, where you can take these home, wash them. They should be reused. It should not be something that you throw away after 2 days. They're washable, they're reusable. We will get some more disposable ones in the near future, which will help out to be able to maybe take the reusable home, wash it, let it dry for a day while you use a disposable ones. But for the time being, treat these like you would any other PPE. Need to make sure we have them in every day and keep them as clean as possible. Take them home, wash them just like any other clothes. You can throw them in the washer dryer. When you get done, it does help if you take them out, maybe use an iron to flatten them out, kind of stretch them back out. But they're relatively easy to keep clean and manage. If you're going to use them for a couple days in a row, what I would suggest is at the end of your shift, taking the spray hand sanitizer, which has the high alcohol content, give it a quick spray on the inside, spray on the outside, just to kill any other additional germs that might be on there. But don't do this at the beginning of the shift. Do it at the end of the shift so it has plenty of time to dry. You don't want to spray into your mask and then put it on. Goes without saying, it should, but please be safe when you're trying to sanitize the mask as well. If you have issues with the mask not fitting correctly, we have additional ties. Yes, I have hair ties. I bought them. I don't have any other use for them except for masks. But we can utilize these to pull the mask tighter and give you a better fit. So There's more than one way to skin a cat, basically, between masks, t-shirts, sleeves, bandanas. We just want to continue to give everybody some kind of face covering to take that extra precaution out on the floor. But if for some reason it's uncomfortable, give me a chance to work with you a little bit on trying to make it a little bit more comfortable as we try to work through this whole situation. Last couple things I wanted to touch on is we did finally get our 400 shirts in for the whole plant. So we'll start kind of handing these things out in the next day or so. I'm not going to go throw them all in a room and let everybody start picking through them, just from the way we don't need everybody handling all the shirts at the same time. So we'll start working through that and start handing them out a little bit more individually. But everybody gets the same shirt. All 3 shifts are on the shirt, and we'll start handing those things out here in the next day. So once again, thank you everybody for the hard work this month with everything that's going on. Please continue to be safe, look out for each other, practice as much social distancing as possible while we're here in the plant, keeping space from each other and outside of work, being responsible with what you do with your free time and looking out for each other at all times. So thank you very much again, and we'll see you soon.